In order to fight Phoenix in Chadley's combat simulator, you first need to complete the assignments, which will unlock it as an extra battle. There are two approaches to this fight. The first is to set up offensively in order to kill Phoenix before it casts Rebirth, and the second is to set up defensively in order to survive Rebirth. If Phoenix manages to cast Rebirth, it causes a tremendous amount of damage for your entire party and immediately summons 3 mobs, making it quite challenging to defeat. My preferred approach is the offensive option, and I'll show you the Materia configuration at the end of the battle. I use Cloud, Aerith and Tifa, Aerith for strong magic and wards, Cloud for his ability to build pressure quickly using focus thrust, and Tifa for her unbridled strength ability, which will increase the amount of damage that Phoenix takes when staggered. Start the battle by building ATB charges across your party. The first mob, Flan, is easy to take down with basic attacks, although you can use fire to defeat it quickly if you need to. However, you don't want to kill the summoned mobs too quickly, because taking a bit of damage and attacking will help you to build your limit breaks and synergy abilities. The firebomb is weak to ice, but will also take a lot of extra damage and pressure if you attack it whilst it's spewing fire. As you're killing the mobs, you'll want to build Tifa's unbridled strength ability, which is L1 and square. When it shows rise and fall, it's charged up and ready to use. It lasts a pretty long time and will remain ready until this bar runs out, which it shouldn't do, but just keep an eye on it. When Grandhorn spawns, try and keep your party healthy whilst knocking down his health. You'll want to make sure that you have as much potential damage ready as possible, because when this mob dies, it will instantly trigger Phoenix into being pressured. When this happens, use Cloud and Tifa's focused thrust and focused strike abilities to build extra pressure whilst trying to keep at least 1 ATB charge on each character. Now, when Phoenix staggers, you have 2 options. If you've got everything right and you're really awesome at timing your attacks, you can kill the boss right now. Unfortunately, I'm not that good, however the approach is very similar. Switch to Tifa and spam her triangle ability for rise and fall, and keep going until she's done her Omni Strike. Phoenix will now take a lot more damage, so lay into it with whatever you can. However, if like me you can't kill it in the first stagger phase, don't let Phoenix's health drop to 50%, as that will trigger the Rebirth ability. Try and finish this phase with Phoenix having just over half health. It's then a case of rinse and repeat for the next phase, rebuild Tifa's unbridled strength charges and keep everyone healthy. There are 2 flying mobs in this phase, so on Cloud use circle to dodge and then immediately press square, which will initiate his ranged attack, which will knock the birds down to the floor. Once the ogre dies, ready your team again for another stagger. Have ATB charges and limit breaks ready whilst building pressure with focused abilities. It's also worth pressing triangle on Aerith just before stagger, which will teleport her onto her arcane ward. When Phoenix staggers again, have Tifa spam her triangle ability to increase the damage multiplier, and then hit the boss with everything you can. Have Aerith use her highest damage blizzard spell whilst standing on the arcane ward for a double cast and unleash the limit breaks, which should then be enough to finish Phoenix off. The materia setup for this revolves around Tifa having elemental linked to ice in her weapon. Also, Aerith has either magnify linked to healing, or if you want the extra damage on blizzard, level boost and ice. For the defensive approach to this fight, make sure that one character has magnify linked to barrier at level 2 for mana ward. Also make sure there's a character with elemental linked with fire in the armor slot. This will provide a decent amount of protection against Phoenix's cast of Rebirth, but you do need to time the cast of Barrier just right and then heal up your party whilst killing the summon mobs and Phoenix, which is why I prefer the offensive option to this battle. Hope that was helpful. It took me a little while to come up with something that worked, mainly because the information for Phoenix when you use your assess ability is just so confusing. Phoenix never seems to cast Empowering Flame, so looking out for it in order to stop it just simply doesn't work. I'm not sure if this is a bug or if I'm just not understanding it properly, but either way, it wasn't very useful. Anyway, thank you for watching and hope this video helps.